the Google Pixel, right? Where they're headed, the product that they are putting out. So it's been a little bumpy road, but I think they're on the right path, right? So even dating back to the Nexus days, those were a hit. I say a hit, but for the kind of developer community, and not saying it was a developer phone, but that's why they stopped the Nexus brand and kind of moved into the Pixel brand, was to compete in the high-end market, right? Against Apple iPhone, against Samsung Galaxy S series. And like I said, kind of been a bumpy road, but I think they're ironing out all of the little quirks that they had, and it appears that they're on the right road. So about 6 months, probably more than 6 months, I'm going to say almost about a year ago, there was a report saying that Google their market share is steadily growing, right? And it was weird because the country that had the biggest growth as far as market share, so when we say market share, that means percentage. It doesn't mean total number of phones sold. Market share means percentage. So out of 100 people, well, you're the total population, but to break it down and make it a little simpler, out of 100 people, what percentage is using iPhone? What percentage is using a Galaxy? What percentage is using a Xiaomi? What percentage is using a Motorola? What percentage is using a Pixel? So market share, and interestingly enough, the phone manufacturers obviously look at total number of units sold. That's more data that they look at when it comes down to revenue. But they really spend a little extra time, a little extra focus on market share. So market share is a good piece of data, kind of indicate how popular, right, or your product is. What percentage of the people in a certain market are using your phone? Now, the highest market share percentage previous to the news that I have today was interestingly enough, Japan. So Japan had the largest market share of, I believe it was right around 7%. Now, we got some news today that says the market share in the United States has gone up for Pixel. And it's gone way up for Pixel. So I'm going to present to you a little graph right here. Now, this graph shows the last 12 months for Google, for the Pixel specifically, Google Pixel. Now, the Pixel means, in this data, it means the Pixel, all the current devices that were released in the previous year. So this means then the Pixel 9 series. So that's the Pixel 9, Pixel 9 Pro, Pixel 9 Pro XL, Pixel 9 Pro Fold, and also the Pixel 8a. The A series is a big seller for Google. You can see Samsung steadily just keeping its pace right there, and iPhone. Interestingly enough, right? So if one in Pixel at the very bottom with that arrow shows it shooting way up. Now that's over the last few months, and this whole graph is over the last year. What this graph tells us, now this is in the United States only. This is not in the world. This is not in Japan that I spoke earlier. This is in the United States. You can see if one company makes a huge leap, meaning they grab a huge percentage of market share, then where is that other percentage decreasing for what other company, right? Because all this totals to 100%, right? Let's say 100 people. So Pixel jumped up to 14%, which is a huge number. I'm sure the Pixel department in Google, the Made by Pixel a group, is ecstatic with this news coming out. I'm sure they knew probably before us because this data was just released this morning. Now look at iPhone up there. iPhone decreased, seemingly right around the same point where Pixel took their shot way up, took that upturn. That's where iPhone took the downturn. So to me, this states that Pixel has been higher than ever usage, percentage of people using them in the United States. And that means iPhone took a pretty big dip. Now, two reasons, maybe more, but two right off the top of my head. The Pixel 9 series, as Carlos was saying, as many of y'all have been saying, we love these Pixel phones, and this year, the 9 series was a home run. It looks beautiful. It feels beautiful in your hand. It's a fantastic device, right? I know it doesn't have the best processor, but everyday usage, I can't tell the difference. It's never stuttered. It's never hiccuped. It's never buffered. I don't get nothing. Never overheated, and I took it out in the heat, and here in the South Texas heat, which previous models, my Pixel 7 Pro, overheated. It's just a good phone and takes the best photos out of any phone in North America. It's a proven fact. So it's just a badass phone. It just works. It's simple to use. It looks beautiful. It's a really good phone. And I think you're seeing people, the iPhone market share decrease because this is a boring phone. It looks the same as the last 2, 3, 4, 5 iPhones. Sure, it has a strong CPU in it, but this thing is slow as hell. I don't play games. I'm a multitasker, so I have freaking 20 apps open in the background. I'm jumping between this app and then boom, boom, boom. I'm going here, going here, going there. Oh no, I gotta do this. Oh, I gotta send an email. Let me boom, 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 real quick. So I gotta have a lot of RAM. Pixel provides that. Phone seems like it took a dose of Robitussin or something, right? I mean, they say this has 120 hertz, and I know I've seen those. I've seen those clips on social media where they're actually in developer mode, and it'll tell you what the refresh rate is in the top right corner of this phone. 80 hertz. 80 hertz. And they say, oh, it's got 120 hertz on it. Maybe it has it in the phone, but it's not moving that fast. 80 hertz. I use this thing, I'm like, God damn, why is this thing so slow? It's slow. I mean, I'm not saying buffering slow. It doesn't get hung up. It doesn't glitch out. I'm just talking using the phone, switching from app to app, closing out apps, going into settings, going into your recents, flipping between your recents. Oh, I want to close a few out. It is slow as hell doing that, and it drives me crazy. That's why I haven't picked this phone up. Like, I want to do more videos and stuff. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I hate using this thing. It's slow as hell. So it sits on my desk. This thing, blazing fast. Now, on paper, it does not have the best processor. I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but this thing is boring. That's why the iPhone sales have dropped off. That's why some people are like, you know what? Let me try the Pixel. Now, maybe I could find those numbers for us. People that have switched from iPhone to Google. And who knows? Maybe they'll switch back to iPhone when the iPhone 17 comes out. Maybe. Android is, I may be called crazy, and that's totally fine. And now I'm going off on this little tangent. Android is the far superior operating system. It is faster. It is smoother. It is easier to use. I have to use this with my left hand. I can't even use this with my right hand because you can't swipe to the back screen. You can't swipe to the previous screen from the right side. You can only swipe back when you go, look, I don't want to show phone numbers. Look, camera, go back, swipe left, right? Well, let's go in between settings. That's kind of a dumb example, but watch. All right, so I'm in Chrome, right? Look at this. I'm going to go back. Oh, I can't go back. Now, I can typically go back by swiping to the left, right? Damn, I'm some bad examples here. Watch. Holy crap. So let's say it's going to notifications, right? Watch this. When I want to go back to the left, right? Back. Now watch. Same page. If I want to go back, I can't go back from the right. Watch. Y'all see that? Like, why is that? Android. I'm in my apps, right? I'm gonna go back. I want to go back. It's easier, it's faster, and that's just not the one example. I have a couple more, but I'm kind of wasting time here. But you get the point. In my opinion, Android's better, but iPhone users won't know that until they actually try it. Now I know if you've been using an operating system for a year or two, you're probably going to be used, or more than a year. If you've used an iPhone your whole life, we're on the 14th iPhone. 16th iPhone. You've been using it for 16 years, so I get it. You know the operating system inside and out. But there's a little things, and I've made a list of things. I'm gonna make a video difference between iPhone, Android, what have you. But Android's way better. I don't know. I'm probably biased, but it is what it is. Now check this out. I got the numbers here. Let me move my. There we go. So the link for this, if you want to view this, chart, I have a list in the video description. I already put it there. Normally, sometimes I'll put links when the live stream is done, but I went and put a link to this company, Stat Counter. What is it? Stat Counter? Yeah. Website. That's all they do is market research. So the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the description box. It's a link directly. They have a bunch of different data you can go observe, pull up. You can download the chart. You can put in HTML mode if you want to add it to a website. Or if you want to download the PNG file, you can download the picture, you can download the graphs. That's all they do is market research, right? So they do it for phones, they do it for electronics, laptops, they do it by country. So you can do all of North America, all of Japan, all of Mexico, all of Canada, or you can select the countries. And now this is just for the United States. But currently, market share, Apple's at 51%, meaning 51% of Americans use an iPhone. Samsung is at 23%, almost 24% of Americans use a Samsung. Now, that could be a S24 Ultra, or it could be an S22 Plus, right? It's just Samsung Galaxy, right? It doesn't mean the very latest, right? Same thing with iPhone. Could be the 16 Pro Max. It could be the iPhone 12, right? And then you have the Pixel right there, almost 15%. Now, when I saw this number, my jaw hit the floor because I think last year, of course, I could look it up. It's at that link in the video description. I believe it was right around 5%. I think it was like 4.7 or 4.8%, meaning 5% of Americans only use. That's very little. But bam, they shot up to almost 15% market share in the United States. That's a huge improvement. And bravo to the Pixel department at Google. Hats off to you. That's y'all are going to be ecstatic in the office tomorrow. I'm sure y'all are going to get congratulated. That's a huge improvement, and they're doing everything right. And it gets me trying to get off of this little tangent and on to the next story. And let me show you why, because I think it will increase. Now, I'll be here next year, obviously, and well, knock on wood, and we will do another when their market share comes out for at the end of 2025. I can promise you, I bet their market share was going to be, I hate to say, because even 5% is a huge bump, because I was like, damn, maybe they'll be up to 20%, but even a 5% market share jump is huge. Like, I'm telling you, if you going from 5% to 15% is mind-blowing, is an enormous jump. Like 10%, what's the big deal? That's a huge deal. And I was going to say, shoot, even maybe 20% next year market share might be wishful thinking, but maybe it's not. They're on the right path. They're on the right path for this Pixel device. They found a design. Now, I don't expect them, and I don't want them to stay on this design for 6 years like iPhone has. Look, tweak this design, but roughly keep it the same way, right? Looks wise. Keep this design. It looks beautiful, classic look. Keep this. Everybody knows what a Pixel is when they see this phone, right? So I want Google to roughly keep the same design. You can modify it slightly, but next year and the year after, that's when the performance boost is going to hit. That's when you can really feel confident. And again, I don't play games, so maybe that's where it kind of obviously might struggle a little bit versus its competitors in the flagship division, but I have no complaints. This thing, wow, as I just drop it, this thing runs fast as hell, speed wise, right? App to app, does everything I need it to. So very, very fast. So they're in the right direction by making and manufacturing their own CPU. It will get much faster. And here is another. Let me pull up this real quick. Let me show you what I was talking about earlier. Let me pull up this report. So this